Hey up. I'm going to do a series of videos on the decline of the left in Britain. Now, immediately someone's going to say, hang on a minute, Booker. 6 months ago in July 2024, British people voted Labour. We've got a Labour government with a massive majority. Well, yes, it's a massive majority, and the support, to my mind, is about a mile wide and an inch deep. People didn't really vote for Labour, they voted against the Tories, and in Scotland, they also voted against the SNP. Labour were just the party that allowed them to protest at the catastrophe that was the previous Tory government and it is the SNP government in Scotland. Um, that's not the same as saying people voted for the Labour Party. They didn't. So, what's going wrong with the left? Let's go back almost a century to 1937. In that year, The Road to Wigan Pier by George Orwell was first published. And Orwell, in part two of The Road to Wigan Pier, which is an essay, a philosophical essay, looked at one of the reasons why working class people don't vote Labour. And the answer is that so many members of the Labour Party are such utter wankers. Let me read a couple of paragraphs from chapter 13. Pay attention, this is going to be good. The first thing that must strike any outside observer is that socialism in its developed form is a theory confined entirely to the middle class. The typical socialist is not, as tremulous old ladies imagine, a ferocious looking working man with greasy overalls and a raucous voice. He is either a youthful snob Bolshevik who in 5 years' time will quite probably have made a wealthy marriage and been converted to Roman Catholicism, or still more typically, a prim little man with a white collar job, usually a secret teetotaler, and often with vegetarian leanings, with a history of nonconformity behind him, and above all, with a social position which he has no intention of forfeiting. He's a wanker, in other words. Then he was a clerk, today he's a social worker. They're wankers. Orwell goes on to say that all you have to do is mention socialism, and it seems to attract with magnetic force every fruit juice drinker, nudist, sandal wearer, sex maniac, Quaker, nature cure quack, pacifist, and feminist in England. He gives the example of riding on the top deck of a bus, sat next to a man who Orwell imagined was a commercial traveller. All of a sudden, there's a clattering on the stairs, and two socialist activists climb up, dressed in pistachio-coloured shorts and pistachio-coloured shirts and khaki shorts, into which their huge bottoms were crammed so tightly that you could study every dimple. Their appearance created a mild stir of horror on the top deck of the bus. The man next to me glanced at me at them and back again at me and murmured, socialists, as one should say, Red Indians. That level of disengagement between an ordinary man on a bus in 1937 and these, I suppose, quintessential, in his mind at any rate, socialists, was one of the reasons why the Labour Party did so badly. Basically, people, however much they thought Labour policy was decent, were just turned off by Labour Party members. Today, if anything, it's got even worse because you see, Orwell does make the point that his view of your typical socialist really only applied to southern England. In northern England, he imagined things were better because you don't have the same number of middle class crap in the north that you had in the south. And certainly when I joined the Labour Party in 1981 or 82, the people who ran my constituency party were the 1945 generation. And the 45ers were retired engineers. You know, they were the aristocracy of Labour, but they were industrial working class men. You don't see those people, of course, are long dead now, but their place has been taken not by the next generation of working class people, but by the teaching trade, the social work industry, the local government nomenclatura. Now, just as people in the 1930s had a horror at, well, socialists and their fatuous mode of dress alienated people from socialism, so today, the fact that the Labour Party no longer has a working class membership, it's a membership made up almost entirely of local government rabble. At the end of the day, are you going to vote for the teaching trade who give grief to your son? Are you going to vote for the social workers who come knocking on your door and tell you how to live your life? Are you going to vote for the managers at the housing association who you've been complaining for many years about? You need a bigger house because you've got a big family, and it's time for your son and his girlfriend to move out with their kids. But they can't because the councils can't build houses and the housing associations are giving them to refugees. This is the reason, or one of the reasons, why ordinary working class people are pretty much revolted by Labour. And probably is one of the reasons, just one, I'm not saying it's entirely across the board, but one of the reasons why from 1979 onwards, Labour was, well, out of office. Basically, people just would not vote for middle class wankers. That's all there is to it.